Today's project is replacing the transmission pan on the Amarillo. SPELAB sent me over a aftermarket transmission pan. This is an extra deep cast aluminum pan. The benefit of these transmission pans is added fluid capacity, and cast aluminum is a better conductor than steel. So this keeps your transmission cooler. But let's get to the fun part now, pulling this pan off the trans. And of course, always use synthetic fluid rated for LV and SP. I always like to make sure whatever bucket I'm using for draining is super clean first, so I know that any debris in there is from the transmission, not from the bucket. I know a lot of people have mixed reviews about these 6 liters and their transmissions. Honestly, I think the 5R110 is a whole lot more reliable than the 6 liter itself, and I've had really good luck with them, but I always change the fluid. They say, I think the service interval is like 70,000 kilometers or something crazy. I don't know. I change my transmission fluid once a year, and most of the time that's only going to be like 20 or 30,000 kilometers on the truck. But I just do the transmission fluid and the filter once a year because I'd way rather change the fluid more, which isn't going to harm the transmission any, than I would rather have to change the transmission itself. Now we have our transmission pan completely drained. That looks like that was about 10 liters. I know that a fully dry transmission with a dry oil cooler and everything will be about 15 liters. But when you drain just the pan, it's only about 10 liters. This transmission pan does come with a gasket, but I like a little bit of extra reassurance that's not going to leak, so I add a little bit of RTV to the underside and the top of the gasket. Now we have that transmission pan fully torqued down to spec. This transmission pan looks awesome. Very happy with it. I definitely recommend checking out SPELAB's products. And you know I'm not going to let this transmission fluid go to waste. Diesels love this stuff. I can finally fill the transmission back up now. It's probably going to take about 3 jugs since now I have so much more oil capacity in that transmission. I recommend pouring in about 2 jugs and then checking your transmission fluid level before you pour in the rest. And then on that last jug, keep checking just to make sure you don't overfill it, because it can be just as problematic having an overfilled transmission as it can be having an underfilled transmission. And when checking these, you actually want to check with the engine running and the transmission fully up to temp. Of course, you fill it basically to pretty much the right level, and then you add or drain a little bit out after checking with it running hot. Well, the truck is in the shop getting this work done. I'm also going to be replacing the thermostat because lately it's been getting cold, down to about -10 at the coldest. And when I've been driving the truck, I find the temperature gauge isn't getting all the way up to the middle where it should be. So it's running a little bit cold. When I look at the data, it seems to be running around 170 degrees. And I'd like it to sit more up around 190. Thing with diesels are if they're always running cold, you're actually losing a lot of power and efficiency. So I like to, every couple years, just replace my thermostat with a 190 degree one just to be safe, because it's going to get really cold here and I don't want this thing to be struggling in the -40 degree weather that we'll be seeing in about a month. I find these thermostats to be kind of interesting to replace on these 6 liters because they're located right down there and they come with the whole barb nipple as part of it. This is just one piece. So you got to remove this upper rad hose, drain out all your coolant. Well, no, drain out about half of your coolant. Remove the upper rad hose, undo those two 14 millimeter, I think, bolts down there, pull that guy up. It's a struggle. It's definitely not the easiest thermostat I've ever had to replace. On top of the thermostat, you remove two nuts, and then there's this bracket that holds that exhaust back pressure sensor. You just kind of move that guy out of the way, then you remove these two bolts on the top there, and the thermostat will just come right out. Old gross thermostat, new shiny thermostat. Can't forget to put the new O-ring in. I always like to add a little bit of grease to these bolts just because they're steel bolts screwing right into aluminum. And when these seize in, it'll ruin your day. If I'm not replacing my coolant with fresh coolant, which I'm not this time because this coolant is only a couple months old, I like to pour it through this super fine strainer just to make sure there's no bits of grit or impurities in there. In this process of getting this truck ready for the winter, I also went ahead and replaced the block heater cord with a new used one because the old one wasn't working very well, and I installed a battery maintainer. This is because when I leave the truck sit for a while and it's down to -40, the batteries will be super low because batteries don't like the cold, and then the block heater wasn't working that good, so I just replaced it all. So then at least if I plug it in, I know the batteries will be sitting at 13.5 volts. The block will be hot and it will run even when it's horribly cold out.